Welcome to today's problem-solving session. We are tackling LeetCode problem 2348, titled Number of Zero-Filled Subarrays. The problem statement is straightforward. We are given an integer array named nums, and our task is to calculate and return the total number of subarrays that consist entirely of zeros. Let's break down exactly what this means before we jump into the solution. First, let's rigorously define what a subarray is. According to the problem description, a subarray is a contiguous, non-empty sequence of elements within an array. Contiguous is the keyword here. It means the elements must be adjacent to each other without any gaps. For instance, in the array 1, 2, 3, the sequence 1, 2 is a valid subarray, but 1, 3 is not, because it skips the element 2. Next, we apply the zero-filled condition. We are only interested in subarrays where every single element is exactly 0. If a subarray contains even one non-zero element, it is invalid for our count. Therefore, our problem boils down to finding contiguous blocks of zeros in the array and counting all possible subsegments within those blocks. Let's look at example 1 to visualize this. The input array is 1, 3, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0, 4. We can immediately spot two distinct contiguous blocks of zeros. The first block is at indices 2 and 3, consisting of 2 zeros. The second block is at indices 5 and 6, also consisting of 2 zeros. We need to figure out how many zero-filled subarrays can be formed from these blocks. Let's explore the mathematics of contiguous blocks. Suppose we have a block containing just a single zero. How many valid subarrays can we form? Since a subarray must be non-empty and contiguous, there is exactly one possibility, the single element itself. So, a block of length 1 yields exactly one zero-filled subarray. Now, what if the block has two consecutive zeros? Let's denote them as 0A and 0B. We can form subarrays of length 1, just 0A, or just 0B. That's 2 subarrays. We can also form a subarray of length 2, 0A followed by 0B. That's one more. In total, a block of 2 zeros gives us 2 plus 1, which equals 3 subarrays. Let's extend this to a block of 3 zeros. We have 3 subarrays of length 1. We have 2 subarrays of length 2, specifically, the first and second zeros, or the second and third zeros. Finally, we have 1 subarray of length 3 containing all of them. The total is 3 plus 2 plus 1, equaling 6. Notice the pattern here. A contiguous block of length, k, yields a total number of subarrays equal to the sum of integers from 1 to k. While we could find the length of each block, let's call it k, and apply the mathematical formula, k times k plus 1, all divided by 2, there is a more elegant incremental approach. Imagine we are scanning the array from left to right. When we encounter a 0, we extend our current block. Crucially, adding the nth 0 to an existing block creates exactly n new subarrays that end specifically at this new zero's position. Let's prove this incremental logic. Suppose we just found the third zero in a contiguous block. What are the new subarrays ending at this exact position? There is the subarray containing just this third zero, length 1. Then, the subarray containing the second and third zeros, length 2. And the subarray containing the first, second, and third zeros, length 3. Exactly 3 new subarrays. This perfectly matches the current length of the block. This insight forms the basis of our algorithm. We will maintain 2 variables. Current_zeros will track the length of the contiguous block of zeros we are currently traversing. Total_subarrays will accumulate our final answer. We will iterate through the array element by element. If we see a 0, we increment current_zeros by 1, and immediately add its new value to total_subarrays. What happens when we encounter a non-zero element? This breaks the contiguous block of zeros. Therefore, we must reset our current_zeros counter back to 0. A common pitfall here is forgetting this reset, which would incorrectly treat separate blocks as one giant contiguous block. Let's trace our logic with the array from example 1 to ensure it works perfectly. We begin our trace. Our array is 1, 3, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0, 4. Both total_subarrays and current_zeros are initialized to 0. We examine the first element at index 0, which is 1. Since 1 is not equal to 0, it breaks any potential 0 block. We execute the else branch of our logic, setting current_zeros to 0. Total_subarrays remains 0. Moving to the next element at index 1, we find the number 3. Again, 3 is not equal to 0. The contiguous block is still broken. We apply the same logic, current_zeros is explicitly set to 0. Because we haven't found any zeros yet, total_subarrays stays at 0. We are just waiting for the first 0 to appear. At index 2, we encounter our first 0. The condition number equals 0 is now true. First, we increment current_zeros by 1, so current_zeros becomes 1. This signifies we have a 0 block of length 1 ending here. Next, we add this current_zeros value to total_subarrays. Total_subarrays becomes 0 plus 1, which equals 1. We've counted the subarray consisting of just this 0. We move to index 3 and find another 0. Since it's a 0, we extend our current block. We increment current_zeros by 1, making it 2. Now, we add current_zeros to total_subarrays. Total_subarrays becomes 1 plus 2, which equals 3. By adding 2, we just accounted for 2 new subarrays ending at index 3, the single 0 at index 3, and the double 0 at indices 2 and 3. Next, at index 4, we encounter the number 2. Since 2 is not equal to 0, our contiguous block of zeros is broken. We must enter the else condition. We reset current_zeros back to 0. This is crucial because any future zeros will start a brand new block. Our total_subarrays remains at 3, safely storing the count from the first block. At index 5, we see a 0 again. This starts a new block. The condition number equals 0 is true, so we increment current_zeros from 0 to 1. Then, we add this one to total_subarrays. Total_subarrays becomes 3 plus 1, resulting in 4. We have just counted the single element subarray containing the 0 at index 5. Moving to index 6, we find another 0, extending our new block. We increment current_zeros by 1, so it becomes 2. We then add this 2 to total_subarrays. Total_subarrays is updated to 4 plus 2, which gives us 6. We've successfully counted the 2 new subarrays ending here, the single 0 at index 6, and the double 0 at indices 5 and 6. Finally, we reach the last element at index 7, which is 4. Because 4 is not 0, the block is broken. We reset current_zeros to 0. Total_subarrays remains unchanged at 6. We have now iterated through the entire array. The loop terminates. Our accumulated answer in total_subarrays is 6, which perfectly matches the expected output for example 1. Let's quickly map our derivation to the Python code on the right. We initialize total_subarrays and current_zeros to 0. We use a for loop to iterate through nums. Inside, the if number equals 0 block handles the increment of current_zeros and the accumulation into total_subarrays. The else block ensures current_zeros is reset when the contiguous sequence breaks. Finally, we return total_subarrays. Before concluding, let's consider a critical constraint. The array length can be up to 100,000. If the entire array is filled with zeros, the total number of subarrays would be approximately 10 to the power of 10, divided by 2. This value, around 5 billion, exceeds the maximum limit of a standard 32-bit signed integer. While Python handles arbitrarily large integers automatically, in languages like C++ or Java, you must declare total_subarrays as a 64-bit integer, like long, to prevent overflow errors. Let's analyze the time complexity of this solution. We iterate through the given array, nums, exactly one time using a single loop. Inside the loop, we only perform basic arithmetic operations and condition checks, which all run in constant time. Therefore, for an array of length n, the overall time complexity is big O of n, making it highly efficient. As for space complexity, we only use two integer variables, total_subarrays, and current_zeros, regardless of the size of the input array. We do not allocate any additional data structures. Thus, the space complexity is big O of 1, or constant space. This elegant, single-pass algorithm solves the problem optimally by leveraging the mathematical properties of contiguous sequences. Thank you for watching.